Alright, imagine this. It's Monday morning. Your alarm blares before the sun is even up. You hit snooze once, twice, maybe 3 times. You drag yourself out of bed, down some caffeine, sit through traffic, or log on from your kitchen table, and then spend the next 8 hours counting the minutes until it's over. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. Because statistically, most people don't like their jobs. In fact, global surveys show that up to 85% of workers are either disengaged or outright unhappy with their work. That's billions of people spending most of their waking lives doing something they'd rather not be doing. So why? Why do so many people hate their jobs? How did we get here? And what does it say about the systems we've built, about capitalism, identity, purpose, and how we define a life well lived? Let's unpack this. The disconnected worker. We used to think that work and meaning were intertwined. That if you worked hard, did a good job, and climbed the ladder, you'd feel fulfilled. But somewhere along the way, that promise unraveled. In today's economy, many people feel disconnected from the impact of their labor. You might spend hours tweaking spreadsheets, answering emails, or following corporate protocols, but never really see how your work changes anything. There's no craftsmanship, no visible progress, just tasks. Repetitive, soul-numbing tasks. And in that disconnect, we lose a sense of purpose. Think about it. Humans are wired for meaning. We want to contribute, to create, to connect. But most modern jobs weren't designed with that in mind. They were built to optimize productivity, to maximize output, to squeeze the most value from the least amount of time. And the result? Burnout. Apathy. Resentment. A feeling of being just another cog in the machine. The capitalist grind. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, capitalism. At its best, capitalism creates innovation, growth, and opportunity. But at its worst? It commodifies everything, including us. In today's world, your value is often measured by your productivity, your worth by your output, your success by your salary. You're expected to hustle, to monetize your passions, to optimize your time, and to perform constantly. Work stops being just a job, and becomes your identity. The phrase "do what you love" sounds great in theory. But in practice, it often leads people to undervalue themselves, take on exploitative gigs, or feel like failures if they don't love every moment of their job. And for many, especially those in low-wage or precarious employment, that's simply not an option. They don't get the luxury of passion. They work because they have to. Period. The death of the dream. There was a time when a stable job meant stability in life. A house. A pension. A future. Not anymore. Today's workers face skyrocketing costs of living, stagnant wages, unaffordable housing, and crushing debt. They're told to save for retirement when they can barely pay rent. Told to find their passion while juggling multiple side gigs just to stay afloat. And so, the dream of work hard, get rewarded starts to feel like a lie. One that was never designed for everyone. Especially in a system where the wealth gap grows wider, corporate profits soar, and yet the average worker feels more disposable than ever. Meetings, metrics, and micromanagement. Let's not forget how we actually spend our time at work. Endless Zoom calls. Constant Slack pings. KPI dashboards. Buzzwords. Performance reviews. Middle managers managing other middle managers. So much of modern work feels pointless. These are roles where even the people doing them secretly believe their job is meaningless. Yet entire industries are built around them. It's no wonder people feel frustrated, drained, or just numb. Because it's not just about being overworked, it's about being underutilized, underappreciated, and emotionally detached. The mental health toll. And it takes a toll. Work-related stress is one of the leading causes of anxiety and depression. Burnout is now officially recognized by the World Health Organization as a syndrome. People are exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. In some cases, this shows up as quiet quitting. In others, it's full-on resignation. The pandemic didn't create this dissatisfaction, but it did reveal it. And it made people start asking harder questions. Is this it? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing for 40 plus years? Generational shifts. Interestingly, younger generations are pushing back. Millennials and Gen Z are far more likely to prioritize work-life balance, mental health, and meaning over status or salary. They're more likely to question traditional 9-to-5 models, resist hustle culture, and demand flexibility. But older generations often see this as entitlement, or laziness. The truth is more complicated. Many young people have watched their parents burn out in jobs that never made them rich or happy. They've inherited a world where stability is elusive and success feels rigged. So they're asking different questions. Not how do I get ahead? But what's the point of all this? Reimagining work. So where do we go from here? It's not realistic to expect every job to be deeply fulfilling. But it is possible to create systems that value people over profits. That give workers autonomy, purpose, and dignity. This means rethinking everything, from how we structure companies, to how we define success, to how we compensate labor. It means exploring models like 4-day workweeks, remote and hybrid flexibility, universal basic income, worker-owned cooperatives, jobs guaranteed by the state, mental health support in the workplace. And above all, it means remembering that work is just one part of life, not the whole story. Final thoughts. Work can be meaningful. It can bring pride, connection, even joy. But in today's world, that experience is the exception, not the rule. Too often, work feels extractive, alienating, pointless. But that doesn't mean we're broken, it means the system needs fixing. Because no one should spend their life in quiet misery just to survive. We need new stories about work, what it's for, what it can be, and who it should serve. Because the real question isn't just why do so many people hate their jobs. It's what kind of work is worth doing. And what kind of world are we working toward? And hey, if this deep dive into the modern crisis of work made you pause, reflect, or nod along, give it a like, share it with someone stuck in a job they hate, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more long-form explorations on the way, digging into the systems we live under, the culture we absorb, and the stories that shape how we see ourselves. Stay thoughtful. Stay human. And I'll see you in the next one.